Good morning and welcome to another week of Subject to Finance, the podcast that gives real estate agents the update on what's been happening in the world of banking. So not much happening in the last week, so I'm going to talk about a couple of other things related to the sales activity that we're seeing. One of the key things that we're seeing in terms of the banks is that there's been a bit of a slowdown in turnaround times. That typically happens when the number of transactions that they're reviewing goes up, so that could be a positive. Not such a great thing for our customers, but an indication that their third-party channels are getting more and more action through them. So yeah, interesting, we'll keep watching that. It generally feels like there's a little bit of a creep upwards in terms of the number of home loans going through the banks, which is a positive, and hopefully it reflects in what you're seeing in terms of real estate sales. The other thing I want to talk about this week is offshore activity, both New Zealanders overseas and foreign investors looking at New Zealand in terms of real estate purchases. Just on Friday settled a house in Queenstown, New Zealander in Australia buying a holiday home in New Zealand. And we've had a number of conversations in the last few weeks with Singaporean investors looking at residential investment properties in New Zealand. So some interesting things there. I think on the Singaporean side, that's indicative of more market activity by New Zealand businesses marketing themselves up in New Zealand. And also sometimes there's a washover with the likes of Reapfield out of Australia marketing properties in New Zealand and Singapore as well. Williams Corp, probably the one we're seeing up there in terms of activity and marketing themselves in Singapore and looking for resi investment buyers to come into the New Zealand market. And we're certainly getting pre-approvals in place for those buyers to look at properties here. Apart from that, in terms of banks, ASB are just not negotiating on rates, and that's something that is still happening across the other banks, but for some reason they've sort of closed that door and pretty hard. Obviously interested in holding on to the margin they've got in their standard rates, and they're not looking to be too flexible around those. In terms of the other banks, ASB and BNZ are still actively trying to bring on new clients in the home loan space and have been pretty active in terms of negotiating rates. Yeah, that's about it for us. It's a short week this week in terms of content. We'll talk again next Monday morning. Till then, have a great week. Cheers. Bye.